This is Internet Marketing. Brought to you by SiteVisibility at sitevisibility.co.uk. This is Internet Marketing. Now, before we start today, we'd like to encourage anyone looking for help with their digital marketing to get in touch with SiteVisibility. Whether you have a burning digital marketing question or you're looking for an agency to work with, they would love to hear from you. So give them a call, +44 1273 733 433, or you can fill out the form at sitevisibility.co.uk contact. Alternatively, you can talk to either Scott or Sean via the live chat function on the site. They'd be more than happy to help. Now, today I'm joined by Justin Hartzman, co-founder at needles.com. Justin, how are you doing?
I'm doing amazing. Thanks for having me today.
It's an absolute pleasure. And you're caller, I'm calling you, and you're in sunny Toronto, aren't you, in Canada?
I am in Canada, in Toronto. It is not sunny right now. It is very gloomy and rainy, to be honest with you. Usually we have snow, which is positive that we don't, but gloomy nonetheless. Probably a lot like the weather where you are right now.
It's quite bright in here, hence the name of the city of Brighton, because it's always bright here. So even at night it's bright. Notice how I got the weather report in there by simply mentioning that Toronto was sunny and hoping you'd mention the weather. So now, you're the co-founder of Needles. We'll come on to Needles in a minute. Before we talk about Needles, just tell us generally a bit about yourself.
Yeah, to keep a long story short, I've been a lifetime entrepreneur. It's just been in my blood. My family's been that way our entire lives. Working for someone's never really been in the cards because we're very visionary. We very have our ways, and we try to find smarter people than ourselves to come and help us build that. So even from, I started doing my own thing around age 9 or 10 with my current co-founder now. We met at camp together, summer camp on the east coast of Canada when we were 6 years old. But around 9, 10, we got into our first business, which was selling things on eBay, and our parents were helping us when that was very early. And then we started a website called rudejoke.com, and Rude Joke was the college humor of today, or the those sort of things. So that was quite fun. But the internet bust happened right around 2 years into that. And as non-18-year-olds signing contracts in Canada, we were kind of scared. So we stopped doing that as people, we didn't know what was going to go on with the internet landscape at that time. But after we went to college, at university, we came back together, my co-founder and I, and his name's Jeremy, and we started to get back into the internet business. And that was when MySpace was becoming very large. And we were the guys that produced all the MySpace content for you to customize your profile, or as we called it back then, pimp your profile. So if you wanted the kitty cats falling from the sky, or you wanted the, a music player before they had one, we were the guys who provided that for you. We built that content, and then we gave it to you for free. And that was pretty awesome. In 3 months, we sold that company, which was a good exit for us after 3 months. Then we took that money.
3 months?
3 months.
That's amazing.
We went from 0 to 1 million visitors a day in essentially a week or less, because MySpace was growing so quickly. And the ability that we had, which is an advantage we always like to find, is when we gave people that content, we could also advertise on the page that they got that content from us. So if someone liked it, they'd go and want to get it themselves and direct them right back to our website. So it was really a huge advantage for us. And after that, we took the money after 3 months and we bought all of our competitors. And 9 months later, we rolled them up into one play and we sold that again. So within 1 year, essentially 9 months of each other, we had 2 exits, which was a pretty incredible thing for these fresh kids at a college here. We were pretty excited. And then we went on to create 2 companies. One was called All You Can Eat Internet, which is a typical web development and consulting firm. Yeah. And another one called We Sell Your Site. And We Sell Your Site, we actually became the #1 website brokers for middle market deals, anything between $1 million and $50 million in EBITDA online. So it was a really fun thing. We did over 170 deals in 12 years. And then we sold that company as our 3rd sale earlier this year. So that was pretty exciting for us, but we really enjoyed that. And it got us, to where we are today, to where we are at Needles. I know there's a little transition story that I might talk about in a second, but knowing everything that we did by selling all these companies for other people and for ourselves, we got to get under the hood and understand what made those websites work very well and how they marketed and how they did advertising and how they were set up to scale. And we got to take that education and build into our own company, Needles, now today. So it's a pretty exciting transition, an unfair advantage that we have. But what we're always looking for when anything that we're doing, just to get back to the listeners here, is we're always looking where there's a gap in the market, something that's not being filled by other people. And sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. We've had our own failures. Let's not be mistaken here. Sometimes there's a gap in the market because there needs to be, because it's one that just can't be filled. And sometimes it's just really scary, so people don't want to overcome that. And we're always trying to help the little guy, the long tail or the little person. We're never going for the enterprise side. And we haven't in the past. I don't say never, but we have in the past. And people like enterprise, so they stay longer, they pay more, but the little guys don't. So that's kind of the market we've always played within.
Yeah. Now, needles.com, just for our listeners, that's spelled needls.com, isn't it?
That's correct.
We'll talk about that in a second, because that's some very interesting sort of automation and AI concepts in there. But I'm guessing that was quite a natural direction for you to go in, Justin, because your previous businesses, you'd obviously got the sort of online marketing part of it really, really good. I'm guessing it was a natural progression to go into Needles.
Well, yes, and I think I know the genesis of how we got there was we were looking at how to market our own businesses and how to grow them at a year-end meeting, and I got a phone call from my wife saying, "Hey, do you see your buddy on Facebook needs an iPhone app built?" And my answer, she's like, "Do you think I sit on Facebook all day long to see that?" And she kind of snickers and says, "Yes, that's all you really do," which I don't. But so anyways, she tagged me in that person's comment or added me to their post. And I got on a phone call with them. I haven't spoken to them in 10, 12 years. And I was able to close a deal right then and there for $60,000 to build them this app. And it was kind of the light bulb idea, because this happened all within about 15 minutes of each other. What phone call from my wife, me messaging them, me calling them, and closing it right in the middle of the meeting. Went, holy crap! People are asking for things on social media. Why aren't we servicing people with those needs when they're asking for them? No one's doing that. So that's kind of the genesis of where it came from.
That's a wonderful story, actually. It's the only story I think I've ever heard where a man has a phone call with his wife, and then to disprove what his wife just said, goes and makes a multi-thousand-pound deal within about the next 20 minutes. Just to prove her wrong.
Just to prove her wrong. But at the end, she was one of the people that helped us to understand that there was a need and build us to where we are today. So 16. And it's been a crazy journey ever since. I think that was the very last day of 2014 or the last few days of 2014. And then we actually got the product the way it is to market April 2016. After a bad iteration of it that didn't work very well, we had a great iteration, and since that day, April 2nd, we've been growing, and it's been a crazy ride ever since.
So it's been going in its current form then, Justin, for about 2 years?
That's right, correct.
Yeah.
And what that is, let me just explain that quickly so people know. What we are is a platform that helps automate social media advertising for small and medium-sized businesses using artificial intelligence. And I'll break that down into the easiest form. Social media advertising is really hard. You do it yourself, it's going to take a lot of time, and you'll probably waste a lot of money. If you want to go to an agency, it's typically too expensive for these small and medium-sized businesses at $5,000 to $10,000 up front, and that's 25% of every dollar you spend. But the reality is, even if you were to able to do that, your budget's probably too small for them to put a really good account manager on it, even if they had one. So what we're doing is solving that. So in 6 questions, we know who you are, who you want to sell to, and what is it that you're selling. We create 50 to 500 ads for you in real time right there on the spot. We then deliver them to the networks, and then we do 2 other things. So that's the creation. There's the targeting and optimization. We target in a completely different way, and this is where the AI comes into pretty significantly. What we're doing is searching for people's needs within their social media posts. So when someone says something like, "Oh, shoot, my tooth hurts, what do I do?" Our systems understand that they need a dentist, and we can show them an ad for a dentist pretty quickly. So the idea is they have a need, they see the ad, the most likely chance of clicking on that ad, becoming a customer or I guess a patient for that dentist. So just to give you one stat, I won't go too deep into this rabbit hole. I can talk about it forever. But, and the last piece was the optimization. We optimize our ads 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, fully automated. So there's no human interaction needed in this entire process, which is usually a very human-intensive process. So the last thing is, I was about to say, is let's talk about, does this really stack up? Do we do a good job? Well, across all 5 million advertisers on the Facebook platform, and this is a very public number they publicize every 2 to 4 weeks, their average click-through rate, so the person to see an ad and click on an ad on Facebook's at 0.9%. So that's from the worst advertisers all the way to the very best advertisers on the platform. We are currently sitting at ourselves on our system at an average of 3.11% click-through rate. So we're actually 3x times better than anyone on Facebook on average. So we're doing a very, very good job, and we're out there to help the small businesses.
It's fascinating because, well, I've got so many. I'm trying to work out which question to ask first, really. 3 times better than the average, and that's done by AI. Do you think humans aren't very good at writing adverts?
Well, I think the problem is people are spending too much time thinking about the advertising with the content and the copy. While I know it's seemingly important, if you're a small business and you are doing landscaping in Brighton, for example, like, do you think a well-written, 10-paragraph subject on landscaping is really going to sell it? We don't. We're all about the data. We take the emotion out of it. So what we're doing is saying, how about we throw a lot of stuff at a wall? Let's find what's working the best, and then let's hone in on those specific by taking all the emotions out and using the data to find what works. We see some advertisements that do 10x better than others that have spelling mistakes in them. It's just, the fact is, if someone has a need and we service that need within a reasonable period of time of, here's an ad for exactly what you're looking for, they're more likely to click on that in general. So we do have a great stat. When you're actually setting up your campaign and answering those 6 questions, we have live chat agents. It's really the only time you'll ever interact with a human at our company, besides if you have a support issue. But they're actually copyright experts too. So they're going to give you some guidance on what will work and what won't work. But this is not a long, drawn-out process.
Yeah. Now, I'm fascinated by this whole area. You mentioned that your main focus is sort of finding the intent to purchase. And you mentioned about sort of looking on social media sites. You also mentioned optimizing. I'm just wondering, how does that work?
Yeah, so let's talk about optimizing. The reality is, what we do on our side, probably only 30 to 40% is proprietary to what we have built. But what we're doing is using all the tools that Facebook and Instagram make available, but the typical plumber doesn't know how to use, when to use, or why to use them. Yeah. So we actually know the best time, and we employ those processes for them because, what we really want you to do as a plumber in, Idaho, we don't care where, we're industry agnostic, we're location agnostic. We want you to focus on what you do best, which is your business and servicing your clients or customers. The stuff that we're doing should be totally hands off for you, and we should just be driving your business to take care of. And we really want to make that distinction. Our product, our service is here so that you can spend the time doing what you do best, and we'll spend the time doing what we do best to perform for you.
I want to talk now, just zoom out a wee bit, talk a little bit more generally about sort of sales and getting sales and the scaling side of sales and funnels and things. How important do you think automation is in this whole sales and marketing area?
Oh, I think it's super important. It's only getting more important. The fact is, what used to be easy to make a sale online 10 years ago is, I'd say, thousands times more difficult to do today. There's so many people trying to, thrive for your attention. And the fact is, we know that, and this is a general rule, it's not just the internet, it takes about 7 touch points to make a sale.
Yeah.
So the idea is, do you really have the time to get to enough people and talk to enough people in 7 different ways 7 times? You probably don't at any scale. So the reality is, if you're looking to have a scalable business and you're looking to grow, you have to find the tools to help you achieve those. And I think we're a very process driven society now, where everything that we're doing within our businesses, I'm sure you do the same thing. We want to make sure that A to Z is done in the most appropriate way. And we're automating all the pieces that are repetitive that we'd have to do more than once for more than 1 second. If we're doing that repetitively, why would I do that one off? Let's find a solution for it. So that's why we see the success of all these unbelievably amazing software as a service that exist out there, whether it's for scheduling your appointments, which someone can just click on an email and do. You don't have to go back and forth with their secretary or whatever it may be, or 10 emails back and forth, or, just organizing your day. All these things are super important. The more organized you can be, goes back to the exact thing I just talked about. You have more time to do what you're best at, which is being that plumber, not learning how to organize your schedule at the same time. So all those are important, and they all help you to drive more sales. And I think the fact is, if you can find, as we say in the industry, a stack that works for you, the right scheduling, the right process, the right advertising, marketing, and that's handled in an automated way, you automatically can be a better person at your job and make more money and grow and achieve what you're looking to achieve.
Yeah. I mean, talking about automation, and you mentioned about the various sizes of businesses and what they do you think there is a tendency, or have you seen much of a tendency in businesses where they sort of put sales more on the back shelf because they're so busy, especially startups, I'm assuming this might happen with, they're so busy sort of polishing the products and getting the product good, but they haven't really thought about the sales, and this is where automation can come in?
Oh, well, yes, absolutely. And I think the reality for me is, for everyone, sales cures all problems. This is something I say all the time.
Yeah.
The reality is, you want to create your product, you want to make it better, you want to make it the best. That takes time, that takes energy, that takes money. And you don't have any of those if you don't have revenue coming in to put on the other side. And the fact is, you're not going to be able to go out and raise money to do this, or enough money to do it, if you don't have that traction of your product and knowing that people are actually out there willing to buy it. So as a salesperson myself, and something that I love very much, whether it's, when I was selling things at $30 million or I sell a $100 a month subscription right now, I get a high from that every single time because I feel it's important for growth, and it shows that there's validity and there's a market product fit and people do want what you're looking for. So I think it's super necessary. If you listen to any of the top executives or CEOs or that anywhere, they're going to say to you, go sell it before you even make it. If someone's going to give you that dollar, great. And then say you're going to give it to them in 3 months and go and do that. Or if you don't have the full product there and you're selling it and you want to go sell it, don't worry. Everyone's faking it till they're making it just now. All these automated companies, even Uber back in the day, they were a spreadsheet and hand phone calling different people in cars to send them out to places when they were just in the valley. Or Instacart was doing something similar to that. And you hear all these great stories when you read the Lean Startup. Just go out there. Get your minimal viable product ready, start selling it, use automation in the best ways that you can so you can focus on, if you're a developer or an engineer, you can focus on that, have the sales come in, find the right partner to help you do it, and bring all those pieces together. I think it's super important.
I love that phrase you used, to go out and sell it before you've even made it. I think we'll have to have that as our top takeaway for this episode. Yeah,
I think so. Like it comes, another takeaway with that is like, you're just going to have to get over that fear. It's super simple. I always say the best things in life come on the opposite side of fear. A very wise man, and I say that in air quotation, can't say right now, and maybe he is, maybe he isn't, but that's a quote that Will Smith said, from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. But he said, the best things in life come on the opposite side of fear. Wow. And that's always what you have to look at. If you don't know when to get into that business, or why you should get into that happiness business, or you're creating it but you don't want to go to sales yet because you're scared, just take that step. Nothing. The worst thing that happen is someone says no or doesn't like what you're doing. Then you can go back and reiterate on that. The reality is, you've got to step over that line. You got to work hard. You got to face your fears, and all your dreams will come together. I really believe in that.
Well, Justin, thanks so much for those wise words. How can our listeners find out more about you, more about needles.com?
Yeah, so you can go to needles.com, take a look at us, needls.com. You can email me directly. I answer them, jh@needles.com. So it's my first and last initial, jh@needles.com. And for the listeners, I hope everyone enjoyed what we have to say, love what we're doing. And for that, if you go to needles.com/IM, you'll get 35% off our platform for an entire year. There's no contracts. You can come and go whenever you want. But as long as you're there within it for a year period, you'll get 35% off our platform fee. Just for listening today, and a little thank you and appreciation from us and the Needles team.
Oh, well, thank you so much for that. That's Needles. So www.needles.com/IM. Thank you very much, Justin. I'm sure our listeners will go for that. We'll put that in the show notes so that doesn't get missed. Well, thank you very much, and thanks for listening, everyone. The show notes will be at sitevisibility.co.uk/IM podcast. If you're enjoying the show, please leave us a review. That would be great. Questions and suggestions, the email is podcast@sitevisibility.co.uk. You can tweet at SiteVisibility. We also have a Site Visibility group on LinkedIn. Oh, that's all from me, Andy, and it's all from Justin.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good day.
And we'll see you next time on Internet Marketing.